Hello and welcome to a review of the Super Mega Baseball 3. I am Snore Dizzle. Let me just start off by saying I've been playing baseball games since the beginning of time. Atari Baseball was the first one I played, and then Tecmo Baseball, also Baseball Simulator 1000 on Nintendo. All throughout the years, RBI Baseballs, MLB The Show. This is the third game in the series, and it is leaps better than Super Mega Baseball 2 or the original Super Mega Baseball 1 version of the game. There are multiple game modes, as you can see: Expedition, Pennant Race, Franchise, which we'll get into, which is the meat and potatoes of the game, Season Mode, Elimination, Expedition, of course, is just a simple game. You can play 1 up to 4 players or one head-to-head. Pennant Race Mode, you can compete for the best record in the division over a time period and rise through the global rankings. Season Mode, obviously play through a full season to see if you can make the playoffs and win the championship. Elimination Mode, it's an awesome feature where you can play an elimination tournament with up to 16 teams. You can customize the brackets, very flexible settings for competitive play. You can simulate games if that's what you're into. There's a local and online party play where you can control any number of teams. Franchise mode. Now this is your meat and potatoes. The developers really wanted to create a franchise mode that was more for everyone, yet still delivered on the key features that make a franchise mode more fun and exciting. They focused on 2 core mechanics: player development and roster management, and free agency. The game within the game, I like to call it. I had so much fun deciding who to release and who to pick up during certain points of the season. The developers have also stated that any features they add post-launch will carefully be considered in regards to keeping the mode accessible. Salary cap worked great. Player development is very fun and engaging. New players are generated after each season and become free agents. Their ages vary when they come into the league, and it's a fun bidding war that happens for the services of each player. If the players are not signed, their price will drop, but you need to consider another team may sign them for that cheaper rate as well. If players sit in free agency too long, they may retire altogether, so you also have to consider that. There are also a ton of customization options within franchise mode, including league options. For example, my franchise that we're running right now with the Snore Scouts, there's only 7-inning games, which make it really good. It's kind of like that old softball feel, which is awesome. You can edit players and teams, which is a huge bonus for me. I love editing teams and editing players in any kind of sports game. Heck, I made a video about Michael Jordan coming out of retirement only to want to play catcher instead of the outfield. Needless to say, MJ wasn't a catcher and dropped about 80% of the pitches thrown to him. So he went back to the outfield, and now everything's fine within the team. He's a team player. Gameplay, not much to say. It's super fun. It's very fast and very interactive. The engagement in the gameplay is unbelievable. Now, one of the big things too for the game, it is $44.99, and to be honest, it's definitely worth it to me. When you have games in other sports, 2K, come out that aren't even finished for $60 and then $100 if you want the premium pack. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. The point is, for $45 from a small team of developers that I honestly am very proud to support, if they're going to make great products like this, I think the $44.99, to be honest, is definitely worth it to me. If you want to wait for it to go on sale, it will eventually. All games do these days. But the developers have a passion for baseball and for this game, and it shows in the finished product. By the way, I did purchase this myself. This is not a paid review. Everything you're hearing is just my opinion from someone who's been playing baseball games for over 30 years. For being a small team, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. The only negative of the game that I could tell, honestly, was I wish the volume of the sounds were a little bit better, especially during tense moments or big home runs. The crowd didn't really seem to get into it. Even back in those old Nintendo games, I remember how animated the crowd sounds were when tense moments happened. So I really wish they would put a little more emphasis on the sounds of the game. And the tension does rise within the player mechanics. The players can get tense while they're playing. The pitchers and stuff like that. So that is very good, but the sounds could, in during key situations, could definitely be improved. Now, what jumped out for me at the game, what's a very, very good positive, it was definitely the gameplay. And that's what I want in a sports game. The gameplay has to be there. It's absolutely smooth, and the fact that you can change the ego meter, which is basically the difficulty level of the game, is absolutely brilliant. So far, about 40 games in, I personally play on a 35 across the board. That's for pitching, fielding, and batting. Could you make the game more difficult? Yeah, you can turn it into the Dark Souls of baseball and very, very hard. I did see a video with some of the devs playing at an ego of about 65 to 70. That seemed pretty hard for me. No thanks, I'll keep my ego at 35%, which is totally fine. You know how good all the players are based off their cards, which are rated A through, I think, D. I haven't seen anything worse than that. Customization is amazing for the game. It's one of the best features. You can customize the players' looks, the team logos, and the jerseys. Unfortunately, you cannot edit the attributes, but during franchise mode, you don't really need it, as there is a feature to develop the players within the franchise mode. Overall, I do think Super Mega Baseball 3 is one of those games that you don't want to not get and experience it. Super fun, reminds me of old school but with new school graphics. The gameplay is super sweet. It feels really well to play it and to get an out. The mechanics of the pitching and the hitting are great. Very fun experience. I would give MetalSoftware a solid 8.5 out of 10 for Super Mega Baseball 3.